Okay, this is a 7.4, and it's something that I thought I had done, but apparently I hadn't. So sorry about how late it is getting uploaded. But we're doing it now, so yeah, you still have time to do any of the 6 weeks that we have for the end of this semester, all the way up to the day of the final exam, which I'll know more on Thursday morning. Anyway, I'll let you know when I know. So the idea here is when we want to add two fractions that have different denominators, we have to find a common denominator. Well, in order to find the least common denominator, we have to factor these two. Now, they're already factored, 6 times x and 5 times x, right? That's lovely. So the idea is that once I factor, I don't need two of them, I just need one each. I'm going to take everything that's from the first one. So LCD is going to be 6 and times x from the first one. Everything, every time. And then over here, I'm going to take anything that's new. So this x is not new, so I'm not going to put another x, but I am going to put this 5 in there because he's new. And then you put them together and you get 30x. That's the LCD. So that's the process every time. Every factor from the first one and anything unique from the second one gets multiplied together to give you the least common denominator. Okay, so now that we know how to find the least common denominator, this is what I would do when it was fractions. I would just rewrite the fractions, but now with a new denominator. And then I would say, what did I multiply this guy to get to here? And that's what I do at the top as well. What did I multiply to get this guy to get to here? And that's what I do in the top as well. But here's a trick. So anytime you look at those two denominators, and if they have anything in common, cross through them. This is after you've written the LCD, okay? Write this down and then do this step where you cross through the x and then you cross multiply anything that's not already crossed out. So what you get is 5 times 5, and then you get 6 times 3. And now you have something with two denominators that are the same. You just add the top. 25 plus 18 is 43, I think. Just doing that in my head. Over 30x. So find the LCD by factoring and then taking all of them from the first one and anything unique in the second one and multiplying them all together. And then you cross through any common factors and cross multiply to get your new numerators. Let's do that again. So we have 2 over x squared minus 5 over x. So in this case, x squared is actually x times x, so I don't need that anymore. And this guy's, there's nothing we can do here. So the LCD is going to be everything from the first one, so x times x. And since x is already in there, I don't need him, and so my least common denominator is just x squared. I know it's like saying, well, why didn't you just say if there's two of the same letter, take the one with a higher power? That's a rule too. I like consistency. Okay, so since the new denominators are x squared, I'm going to cancel out anything that they have in common, like just one x each. Not both x's, just one for 1. And then I'm going to cross multiply. Now, this is really just 2 times 1 going on here. And then this is going to be 5 times x. So final answer here, 2 minus 5x. They're not like terms, so I just write it like this. And that's all over x squared. Okay? So the monomials, it's a little weird doing this, like breaking it down like this, but this process is very helpful when it gets to these binomials and trinomials. So for instance, this problem, 9x plus 45. So you have to imagine that these things are in parentheses. and if it feels good to write the parentheses, please do so. Now he's all factored. There's nothing you can do with him. I have hiccups, that's weird. Okay. But he can be factored. The LCD is 9. And so when you divide by 9, you get x plus 5. And then I'm going to do the old one. Okay, so now I'm going to write my LCD. My LCD, everything from the first one. So just that x plus 5 right? And then anything unique from the second one. So x plus 5 is already there, but 9 isn't. So I'm going to multiply that by 9, and there's my LCD. Now I can clean this up by putting the 9 in front if you want. You know, it's up to you. You can put the 9 over here too. So they have a common x plus 5. I'm going to cross through it, and then I'm going to cross multiply. And since there's nothing over here, I'm going to put a 1. So this is 9 times x plus 5. I'm going to put a little bubble around here. And this is 9 times x plus 5. That's the LCD. And then 9 times 2 is 18. And then 1 times 7 is 7. Sorry. 9 times 2, 1 times 7. You get these two. And then 18 minus 7 is 11. And you write that denominator once. Boom. Number 4. We have 2 over x, and then it's added to 4 over x minus 6. Okay, so these are already factored. There's nothing I can do to factor it. So the LCD here will be x, and then times x minus 6, because he's unique from him, so they both go into the LCD. And I don't have to distribute or anything like that. But I do have to write x and x minus 6 for both denominators, like so. And then, since they don't have anything in common, there's nothing to cross out, and I'll just cross multiply what I got. So 2 times x minus 6 here, plus 4 times x here. Okay? So do not cancel these two. You're going to feel like doing it because you see them, and you're like, ooh, 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 ooh. Don't do it. It just gets you right back to where you started, and you're going to be like, why did I do that? Instead, just imagine, if you want to, instead of these two things, write LCD. And that refers to this, but, you know, it doesn't make you feel like canceling out the x minus 6's when you shouldn't. What you should do is distribute. So 2x minus 12, and then plus 4x all over the LCD. And then the last step, I'm going to combine like terms. You get 6x minus 12. And then I'm going to put x times x minus 6. Plugging the LCD in there. Yes, you could factor out a 6 and get x minus 2, but since nothing factors, you don't have to do that. Nothing cancels, I mean. Nothing cancels. So that's good right there. What I want you to be cautious with this one is do not cancel when you shouldn't. You have to, after you cross multiply, you got to distribute and combine. And I don't know if I have those listed off in the notes. I should. It's like step 1, find the LCD. Step 2, cross multiply. Step 3, distribute and combine. And then simplify. Okay, number 5. We have x over 2x minus 3. And then minus 3 over 14x minus 21. Okay, so first thing, find the LCD. That means we have to factor. So 2x minus 3, he's good. But this guy, you can factor out a 7, and you'll be left with 2x minus 3. And every time you do factor a denominator, go ahead and squiggle it out, the old one, and leave this underneath it. Now, everything from the first one, so 2x minus 3, and then anything unique from the second one, so times 7. And if you want to clean it up, put 7 in front, you can. You don't have to. Put a little bubble around your LCD. Okay. Now, back to this one. We're going to write LCD now, because I don't want to make that mistake of canceling when I shouldn't. And then I'm going to cross through anything they have in common. That's at 2x minus 3's. And then I'm going to cross multiply what's left. There's a 1 here. So x times 7 is 7x minus 1 times 3 is a 3. So I'm left with 7x minus 3 up top. And down here I have the LCD, which is 7 and 2x minus 3. All done. No, don't cancel those 7's because this 7x and this 3 are connected like if there was a parentheses here. And the 7 would have to go to both. So don't do that. Leave it like this. You're good. All right, number 6, we have 2 over x plus 7 plus 3. I'm going to put it over 1 because, I don't know, it makes me feel better. Now with this one, your LCD, there's only one denominator, and that's x plus 7. He doesn't factor, so there he is. That's that guy. This one doesn't really do anything with the LCD. You just, there's already one there. All right, so nothing to cancel out, so let's cross multiply. LCD, LCD. And I'm going to get 1 times 2 plus, and then 3 times that parentheses. So again, I have to distribute. I get 2 plus 3x plus 21 all over the LCD. Still got one more step. And then I got 2 and 21 will combine to give me 3x plus 23 over x plus 7. And if you want to put parentheses around them, you can. That's perfectly lovely. But once we're done distributing, combining up here, then we can throw our LCD back in. Okay, that was it.